Next Radio with Broadcast Bionics. Innovative solutions for creative people.
Hello. Hello up there as well. I sat up there. It's very high. So I am Mike Newman. I'm the brand program director for Free Radio. I'm here to talk about building a breakfast show. To give you a reason as to why you might want to listen, I'll tell you about my experience with breakfast shows quickly. I started as a breakfast show producer at Mercia in Coventry, and I produced a couple of breakfast shows there. Then I went to Kerrang 105.2 in Birmingham and produced Ugly Phil and Rachel whilst there. Then I moved to XFM in South Wales and launched XFM South Wales. I'm now not the only XFM program director to have closed down XFM, which is nice. Obviously launched a breakfast show along with XFM South Wales. When that short-lived radio station ended, I moved to London and produced Graham Dean on Smooth Radio London. And then I got the call from David Lloyd, who's sitting in here somewhere, to go and work for him at Orion. And I went to be the program director of Mercia. It all comes full circle. And I launched a different breakfast show there. And then sort of for the last 4.5 years, I've been the program director for Gem 106 and worked with the multi-award-winning Sam and Amy. And we took them to be the market-leading breakfast show in the East Midlands. And just a few months ago, I moved over to Free Radio, also in the Orion stable, and I'm now lucky enough to look after 4 radio stations and 4 breakfast shows. So I've got form in the area. So this isn't about finding a breakfast show. I'm afraid you're going to have to go and do that yourselves, because that's really difficult, and we need more than 7.5 minutes to talk about that. This is about, I think, taking your breakfast show from maybe being a not so well-performing one to performing better, a good one to being great, or a great one to being exceptional more often. When I'm looking at a breakfast show plan or building a breakfast show and thinking about how that's going to work, I like to think of it as furnishing a house. So that breakfast show plan is an empty house. The particular piece of furniture I focus on is the humble table. There's a table. It's a pretty shit table, but it's a table. The reason I think about tables is that I think every house needs tables, and every house needs different tables, and these tables perform different uses. So you need occasional tables. They're dependable, they're useful. You probably have quite a few of them around your house that you dot things on. That's your news, your travel, your weather. It's the stuff that everybody talks about. It's the X factor, it's strictly. It's the stuff that's got to be in your show, and you've just got to put that in there. Everybody needs an occasional table. Everybody also needs a coffee table. So a coffee table it's the thing that's in your lounge. It's kind of a small centerpiece. You feel comfortable when you approach your coffee table because you know you're going to put your feet up on it. It's always been there. It's very nice to you. That's your benchmark. So you might have a couple of those if you're lucky enough to have a big lounge. So you need your benchmark. You need your coffee table there to make you feel a bit relaxed. And then you also need your dining table, your centerpiece. So this is the bit where most of your guests sit. This is the bit where you serve up the most special dishes. This is your 8:05 link, or whatever your peak of your show is. Make sure you've got a dining table. Make sure it's in the right place. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but everybody's got all of these tables in their show. Everybody's got news, travel, weather, and they talk about the X Factor, and they've probably got a benchmark, and they definitely do something at 8:05. So how do we make ours different? So I'm going to turn to this chap. Anybody know who that is? Yes, who's that? Who said that? Well done you. So that chap is Ingvar Kamprad, the founder of IKEA. So in the 50s, when he started making furniture, he was shipping tables out. The table analogy goes all the way through this. So he was shipping tables, and he made his table and he sold it for, let's say, 100 quid. And I bought his table, I gave him 100 quid. And then he had to give 90 quid of that to a delivery driver, because tables are fucking massive, some of them. And it takes a long time to deliver it, and it takes a lot of men to pick it up and take it. So he wanted to make those tables a bit easier to deliver. So he is the godfather of the flat pack. And the flat pack is very important because it means that the tables are delivered in a very different way. They still turn out to be tables when you get them home and put them up. But he flat packed them. So when you look at your tables in your breakfast show, you need to think about how are you going to deliver them differently. What can you flat pack today? Can you look at your news, your travel, your weather, and flat packet? Can you deliver it differently? Can you look at your benchmark and think, can I deliver it differently today than I did yesterday? And your 8:05, can you, or your 7:30, wherever your peak is, look at it and think, can I deliver it differently today than I did yesterday, or than our competitors are going to deliver theirs? Because you're all going to do kind of the same thing. That's what breakfast radio is. And then, of course, everybody needs a nice tablecloth. So, the tablecloth. When do we get the tablecloth out? We don't get it out all that often, because it's for special occasions only. But the tablecloth makes everybody feel nice. When the guests come around, they go, oh, this is different. It's lovely, isn't it? It's very special. And you yourself, you feel nice as well. So you think, oh, the tablecloth's out. I'll act a bit differently. I'll do something differently. And the meal looks different. And the tablecloth, importantly, covers the whole table. So this is about looking at your breakfast show differently on occasions. Not every time, because if you pulled the tablecloth out every time, then it wouldn't feel special. So this is the big thing that you do. What are you going to do differently every now and then that just makes the whole show feel and look different? Not only for you as a presenter or a producer, but also for the listener, the guest, if you will. So that's your checklist. Tables, flat packing, different delivery, and tablecloths. So when you go back and everybody says, what did that guy talk about on the breakfast shows? And you say tables. This is your checklist. So, tables. What have you got? Where are they? And what purpose do they serve? Are they in the right place? You wouldn't put your dining table at the front door just as everybody comes in, because it's too big and bulky and gets in the way, and you want it somewhere where the most amount of guests are going to be. So make sure your big centerpiece is in the biggest spot on the show. Make sure you've got those occasional tables dotted around, your news, your travel, your weather, because everybody needs them. And make sure you've got a benchmark, because they're really useful. They're helpful. They provide bridges to get to, that's somewhere to put your feet up, somewhere that you can feel a bit more relaxed when you get there. Occasionally ask, what can we flat pack today? What can we deliver differently? What can we do today that we did differently, that we will do differently than yesterday? What will we do that's different than the competitors? So can you take your travel presenter and do it from the M1 junction 25 or something, if that's just opened? Can you do your benchmark feature differently? So on free radio, we do the £1,000 minute. We usually give away a free answer. Can we do 9 today, so you only have to answer 1 question to win the £1,000? Just think about it differently. How can you deliver it differently? And then finally, ask, when was the last time you got the tablecloth out? When was the last time you made that whole experience feel different? Not only for you, but for the guests as well. Take your show out on the road and do it for a week from a different location. Before I got there, Free Radio did their breakfast show from the top of the brand new library in Birmingham. The whole show came from there. It just felt very different. They invited listeners. They had a band. It was spectacular. It was very special. If you do it from there every time, it's not going to feel that special. So just ask occasionally, when was the last time you got the tablecloth out? I think if you do those 3 things and you examine them every day when you approach your breakfast show, then your breakfast show is guaranteed to feel different, feel better, and perform better. And that's it.
Very much.